Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying my videos, that you are learning from it, growing from it. That's my ardent desire with them. In this video, I wanted to expand on money and INFJs. I've spoken about this a few days ago and I thought it was such an interesting topic and I received a lot of great feedback from you guys. So I think I'm going to do a couple more videos on INFJs and money. It's such a poignant topic. It's so important to us, and it's also something that we deal with every single day. So I think that there should be more information on it out there. But specifically in this video, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs go into a sort of analysis paralysis every single time we have to spend money, no matter what the amount of the money might be. Now, of course, it's easier if the amount is smaller, but in most cases for an INFJ, it doesn't matter if the amount is small or big. Every single time we have to spend money, specifically, of course, on ourselves, we go into the state of analysis paralysis, absolute paralysis, where we can't even make another step and we can't even make a choice because we're so afraid and we're so filled with fear of the consequences of making that choice, of making that decision. Normally, though, if it's not related to money, if it's not related to spending money, we're really decisive. We'll make a choice like that. You know, if we have to choose between one thing or another, we're like, all right, cool, I got it. I got this, guy. I don't know why I'm going to ghetto talk. Anyways, but for example, if I'm at a restaurant, I'll be sitting with a couple of girlfriends and, as soon as I know what I want, I know what I want. I'll look at the menu and in a few seconds, I know exactly what I want to eat. And my girlfriends will spend, 5 minutes, 2, 3 minutes, 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes sometimes thinking over what they want because of the decisive factor. We're very decisive and some other people are not. And we usually attract non-decisive people. I've noticed that about myself. Most of my friends are not very good at decision making. They'll always be forcing me into it. They're like, can you please help me? And I'm like, all right, fine. But anyway, so that's a separate issue. But in that regard, it's not hard for us to make a decision. We'll make a decision like that, and it's fine. We don't go into analysis paralysis. But if it's related to making a decision on spending money, oh boy, it's a completely freaking different story. We go into absolute fear mode. I'll give you a quick example. I think I spoke about the air filter, but I'll give you another example. I get my body waxing done at least once every 2 months. And this is a full body wax. I just love the feeling of, just being clean, having no hair on my arms and legs. And it just feels so nice. I just love it. I've been doing it since I was 16. I've been waxing my body since I was 16. It's almost 20 years. Anyways, so I've been doing it for a long time and I just love the feeling of it. But in Thailand, people don't wax their arms and legs, obviously, because they're not hairy here. Oh God, it's so annoying. They have no hair on their body, very little hair at all, if any. They have a lot of hair on their head, though, which is such a freaking contradiction. But that's how it is. So there's not a lot of waxing places in Thailand, in Chiang Mai where I live. In Toronto, there are a lot of Indian people. And so there's lots of really cheap, amazing waxing places because Indian people wax their bodies. It's just normal. It's very common for them to do that. And they thread their eyebrows. And there's a lot of threading places there as well, which is really easy for me to find a place where I can get my stuff done. But in Thailand, in Chiang Mai specifically, there's only 2 or 3 places that actually do it and do it well. I mean, they might do it, but they will do it poorly. Or it'll take them 2 or 3 hours to do it, where it really should only take 45 minutes. Things like that. So I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God. So in that case, for me specifically, every few months where I have to get my waxing done, I go through this random stage of analysis paralysis. I want to go get my waxing done, but it's going to cost me a certain amount of money, and it's a lot more. It's twice as much as what it would cost me back home in Toronto. And that in itself, that difference between how much it would cost me back home and how much it costs me here, even though this is supposed to be a cheaper place to live in, puts me into a state of analysis paralysis. I think to myself, do I really need to do it? I'm always wearing pants anyways. Why do I need to shave or wax my legs? Why do I need to wax my arms? There's not that much hair on it. Why do I need to spend this money on this? I could spend this money on something else. I could buy a billion meals with this. Each meal in Thailand is about $1. And so if I'm spending $100 on a waxing session, that's 100 meals that I could have. And so I'll kind of go into this state of madness. Literally, it takes me, I would say, a few days to get over this analysis paralysis. And eventually I'll decide, all right, enough is enough. I'm just gonna go get it done, because I always do this to myself. Every single time I go through the same maddening story where I have to go through this whole analysis, paralyze myself, go through fear mode, and then decide I'm gonna do it, and I do it anyways. So why do I do this to myself? Well, that's because we go through analysis paralysis for spending money. Now, this is because it's a big amount of money. For me, I think it's a big amount because for waxing, it seems like a really high amount, especially because, as I said, I can get it done for so much cheaper back home and so much better. They're so fast back home because they're so used to it. Whereas over here, people don't wax. They shave, I guess, shave their arms and legs, which I don't like at all. You guys are learning a lot about waxing and shaving. If you're guys, I'm sorry. But so for me specifically, because it's a big amount of money, I go into more of an analysis paralysis mode. But even with smaller amounts of money, I'll still be thinking to myself, should I do it? Should I buy this? Should I go do this? For example, massages. Massages in Thailand are really, really cheap. That's one of the best things about living here, and I love it so much because they're extremely cheap. For example, you could get a massage, a really good massage for an hour-long massage, a Thai massage or an oil massage, for 200 baht, which is about $8 or $9 Canadian, about 5 or 6 USD, right? Which is nothing if you think about it. I mean, if I was in Toronto, I'd spend at least $100 on a massage, at least $100. So I guess it kind of balances out with the massage and the waxing if I think about it. But even with that amount of money, which is not a lot of money at all, especially for a massage that's decadent and makes me feel so amazing after, really grounds me, really helps me come into my body, and works out all the kinks in my body, has so many benefits. Massages are so good for you. Even with all of that, all of the benefits and all the goodness, I still go into an analysis paralysis mode where I think to myself, should I not? Or do I really need it? Do I really have any kinks? I mean, I feel really loosey-goosey already. My body feels fine. I feel grounded. I'm going to TRE already. Do I have to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And so I kind of go into that mode as well, even though it's a tiny sum of money. It doesn't really matter. I sometimes go into these analysis paralysis modes even for $1, even for spending $1 freaking dollar. For example, there are these song taos, red taxis that go around Chiang Mai and they take people around. So it's like a kind of like a taxi service, but a carpool taxi service. So they were doing carpools or Uber pools before Uber was, right? And so basically you flag the song tao down and you tell them where you want to go. And if they're kind of going in the same direction, then they'll kind of pick you up. And then another person will flag them down, and you sit in the back in like this big truck. And another person flags them down. If they're going in the same direction, they'll pick them up. If they're not, they'll be like, I'm sorry. And then you call down the next red taxi that comes along. And there's many of them around, and you see there's many coming back and forth over and over again. And normally the cost is 20 baht, sometimes 30 depending on the taxi. If it's a newer one, if it's a younger generation, then they charge more. If they're older and they've been doing it for a long time, they charge less. And so 20 to 30 baht, right? Which, as I said, is $1, around $1, which is nothing. It's $1 Canadian, so about 75 cents USD. Seriously, people drop $1 every single day without even thinking about it, right? They drop it on the ground. They're like, it doesn't matter. I don't have to pick it up. But for me, sometimes I'll be thinking to myself, do I really have to? I could just walk, can't I? I mean, it's just right there. Do I really have to take a song towel? My feet might be cracking in pain. They might be so painful because I've been walking all day, or my body's hurting, or I'm tired and I'm sleepy and I just want to get home. But even then, I'll spend this freaking mode, or spend time in this freaking mode of analysis paralysis where I think to myself, do I really have to spend this money? It's a freaking $1. What the hell, right? But that's what we do as INFJs. Now, I wanted to share this with you guys because I'm pretty sure that you guys go through the same maddening process when you are going through this spending money thing, right? Now, we live in this world. We live in this physical world. We have to spend money. We cannot avoid spending money. I know that all of us as human beings, as INFJs, we want to live in a world where we didn't have to think about money. I totally get it. I've been in that situation where I'm thinking to myself, it would be so much better if I didn't have to think about money. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world. We live in this world where we have to spend money, and we have to learn how to spend money, and we have to spend money on ourselves in order to take care of ourselves. And we have to learn how to spend money and make decisions on spending money faster. I really hate spending a week or a few days or a few hours even thinking about spending money on something where I know that eventually I'm going to say yes to it or eventually I'm going to say no to it? Why go through that analysis paralysis mode? It's so tiresome. It's so tiring. It's mentally exhausting. I'm so tired after these sessions of should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Should I buy it? Should I not buy it? It's just tiring. It literally drains me. And I really don't want to go through these situations anymore. I'm trying extremely hard to, if I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to buy a bottle of water, a glass bottle, because I need glass bottles in order to do refills downstairs. So if I say to myself, okay, I'm going to buy a glass bottle because I only have one and it would be nice to have 2 or 3 in the house. I just want to be able to say, okay, cool, I need to buy this. It's important for me. It's going to give me this benefit. These are all the things that I can do with it. If I think about it in terms of hours versus money spent, it's a good deal. I'm going to go buy it. That's how I want this process to be. Unfortunately, right now, it's not that fast. Right now, it's actually really slow. And if I was going to spend money on something like that, I spend at least an hour or 2 thinking about it, which is way too long to think about something like this. Way too long, especially if the amount is really tiny. If the amount's big, obviously, if it's $200, $300, $400, $500, which is a big amount for me, obviously I want to spend more time thinking about it. That's totally fine. But if it's a small amount, if it's $1, if it's $10, if it's $20, I want to be able to make that decision like that. I don't want to be spending too much time on it. And that's what I'm trying to do in my life right now. If it's a decision involving a smaller amount of money, I'll spend 10 minutes. I'll give myself a boundary. I'll give myself like a timer. So I'll put a timer on. I'll be like, all right, these are all the things that I need to think about in terms of buying this thing. And once 10 minutes is done, that's it. I don't think about it anymore. I've made the decision. I'm going to go with it or I'm not go with it. And that's it. That is it, guys. Not thinking about it anymore. Now, of course, I'm still practicing at this. And I'm 35, for God's sake. I should not be doing this anymore. But really, this is one of those things as an INFJ. We just go into these mad modes where we have to spend money, especially if it's on ourselves. I told you the story of the air filter already, and I'm so grateful that I bought it. Oh my God, the air quality in Chiang Mai is terrible right now. And just having this air filter at home, I breathe so much easier. My breath and my throat and my lungs are thanking me every single day. And I'm so grateful I bought it. But I went through a lot of shit in order to buy it. I went through a lot of mental shit in order to buy it. And I really want to reduce that time of analysis paralysis. So I'm hoping that this video will kind of give you a little bit of insight into the fact that perhaps you're doing this to yourself, and maybe use the timer strategy in order to stop yourself into going into this mode for too long. It's all right to analyze it. You know, we just don't want to buy things impulsively, but we don't want to spend too much time thinking about it either. You know, we don't want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours thinking about it. Maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, really. You do the analysis, you do the pros and cons list, and then you make a decision, and that's it. You stick with it. You don't go back and forth. You don't dilly-dally. You don't analyze yourself to death. You don't overthink, and you don't berate yourself for making a wrong decision. You made a decision, and that's it. That's all. Just forget about it, right? That's where I want to get to, and hopefully that's where you guys are at, or that's where you want to get to as well. It would be so great if it does happen for us. If you guys have any questions about this video or about any other video that I've done, please message me anytime. All of my contact information is in the description below. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.